Hi everybody, I'm Alexei Pazhitnov. 10 years ago, I invented a game called Tetris.
Great is not the word for Tetris. The right word for Tetris is perfect.
I'm at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. I stand in line and there I play Tetris for the first time.
It's really the perfect game. Once you've played Tetris, like it's part of your DNA.
Then I go and play other games and I find myself standing in line at the Tetris machine again. And I play again.
Perfectly implemented, perfectly balanced.
The fourth time I'm standing in this line, it's like, I'm really hooked on this game. I said, I'm going to go to the Soviet Union and I'm not coming back till I have these rights. Tetris is for everybody, all genders, all ages.
The game transcends cultures, it transcends language, and there's a whole Tetris effect that happens. You start seeing Tetris pieces everywhere when you're packing a car or when you want to organize something.
Tetris, it's harmonically, everything comes together.
The thing that makes Tetris Tetris is the well and the pieces.
There's nothing associated with Tetris except geometry, which is universal.
It's no character, you don't have attitude to the pieces. They are all good. It allows you to concentrate on your activity.
It only is a game.
It's not a destructive game, it's a constructive game. You're basically building lines of blocks.
It's illusion, because what you generally do, you don't construct anything. As a matter of fact, you keep destroying the stuff you build.
I love that kind of attention.
All you see is the garbage, your failures and mistakes.
You want to keep clearing lines.
You play and play and play to get rid of it, to get it lowered.
It really kind of speaks to the human need to want to create order out of chaos. Alexei figured it out, and that's why we're around 40 years later.
All my life is connected to Tetris. Every time when I design the game, I never satisfied because I clearly see that this game won't be at the same level of Tetris.
The friendship that formed between Hank Rogers and Alexei Pajitnov really, ultimately, brought Tetris to the rest of the world. They're still best friends today.
I think our friendship goes deeper than Tetris.
They're both programmers and they both have the love of games.
Basically, I just live with it for my whole life, and time to time strange stuff happened. Play Tetris.
Play Tetris.
My friends.
Okay.
So what you see here is you could have impression of the Electronica 60, which I originally created Tetris. Very old and unreliable. So I think it's just for guests to watch it and admire. This is not authentical computer. It's a little bit later computer. It's a version of so-called Electronica 125. It looked very similarly to this one. It has this keyboard and kind of Russian placement of the keys. This is monitor. It just TV set, which produces kind of lines and ASCII symbol, and that's it. Usually I played with the numeric keyboard. 7, 8, 9 is 7, 9 for left and right, and 8 for rotation. I didn't have a hard drop. Was the space bar. Left, rotate, left, drop. Right, rotate, rotate, okay. And then escape when I lost. I still play with my box of pentamines, and I'm wondering why nobody just play against each other with this stuff. And I thought that it would be very interesting to try to research it on the computer. I just started programming it. At that time we didn't have any graphics on the computer, so I realized that I could use the square bracket for the squares, and it looked pretty very much. Then I start doubting, so 12 shapes is very good for when you have all of them in front of you on the table. But if they coming all the time, it's too much to remember. And 7 is a magical number. We know that 7 is the size of operative memory. People could remember lots of phone numbers. I decided that I should downsize it. So tetramine is obvious instead of pentamines, and I were very glad and very excited when I make this decision. And I feel that it's natural the piece to fall down because it's a gravity on this planet. I immediately start to put together some play field. I didn't feel that I need the entire screen. Too much movement. This playfield was filled up practically in 1 minute, so I need to somehow deal with it. I realized that the full lines, all full lines, are kind of dead on the screen. Why don't I just take them away? And that was the last and very serious aha for Tetris game. The game immediately start to be really bright. I can't stop playing. I really appreciate the hard drops I did in the game. The only one drop I could do is a hard drop because my keyboard, it doesn't distinguish push and release moments. With all my wish I can't do any soft drop at this time, but hard drop was very important, and that determined the rhythm of the game. Level of playing this game, as far as I remember.
What's the highest level on this? Is it 9?
9, but 9 is very kind of flashy. You have your eyes tired pretty soon. So.
Now, is level 9, is the reason you went up to 9 because you only wanted to use 1 digit space?
Yes. Finally, my colleague found out that I doing something strange on the computer for a week or so. And I say, okay, guys, okay, I will finish my programming and I will show you this stuff. And then I put a small title screen, record table, and put together and released the game. And it was like a wood fire. In 2 months, every Electronica 60 had this game on it. People say that my game is like a drinking vodka. The word glass was very kind of associated with the drinking, and we need it for vodka, of course. And the people put the title Stakan. Stakan, which you used to drink vodka. But I insisted on Tetris all the time. And Tetris is very nice sound in Russian, at least. Tetramine is obvious object which we're dealing with in the game. So I decided it should be something kind of related to Tetris. It was a very popular game which lots of people enjoy on IBM PC called Xonix. Xonix, I like this X termination, but Tetris was too much copying from Xonix, so I put is. I think Tetris will be little bit lighter and remind me of tennis, my favorite sport. And this is a good name. At some moment, people who work on IBM PC approached me and started pushing me to port it to PC. I didn't like very much PC that time. The colors were too funky, too bright, and kind of very unserious kind of stuff. I understand that this is enjoyment stuff for kids, but my mathematical kind of spirit, it's not something I really want to work on a lot, you know. And I had a perfect excuse. At that time, it was no common device between IBM PC and Electronica 60. Floppy disks had totally different format, so that was my excuse. I say, I don't want to type it again, forget it. One day, one of my friends from this PC department brought me the young schoolboy. He was 15 or whatever. He get the school practice in computer center for programming. Absolutely genius guy. His name was Vadim Gerasimov. He used to work for Google last time I've heard about it. I don't know where he is now. But this young wunderkind kind of was presented to me, and I say, well, basically I have this floppy disk with Tetris program in it in Pascal language. So if you could transfer it somehow, then we could do something with it on PC. He knew MS-DOS, the PC operating system of the time, very well. So he could do absolutely magical stuff there. He understood the file system, which is totally different. He make a physical reading of the disk. And in 4 or 5 days, less than a week, he invited me and showed me my Tetris game exactly with those square bracket and stuff working on PC. I was really surprised and amazed with this. For me, it might take maybe months or something of work, of studying, of trying and whatever. He did everything in record time. It was absolute miracle for me. If we find a small rectangle of ASCII table of the certain color, and we decide to make this normal 16 color text mode. And because it's PC, it's much more international, so it's immediately spread, and we start to get the evaluation from abroad as well. So everybody likes the game, and we feel good.
I went to Japan, and there was no way for me to access computers. And so I ended up working for my father in the gemstone business for 6 years. And then personal computers came out, and I go, oh my gosh, this is my chance. Got my whole hands on a computer. I went to Akihabara, which is the electronics center in Tokyo. What are people buying? They have to do with computer, because I was ready to do an accounting software, for Christ's sakes. And I found out, wow, people are buying games. Games? And they were mostly like little tiny shooting games and jumping platform games. There were some simulation war games, a little bit more complicated. But there were no role-playing games. And I thought, oh, yeah, I can do this. And, at that time in the US, we already had Ultima and Wizardry. What I didn't know is that in Japan, there was no Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my gosh, okay, I have to teach people how to, play this game. I decided I was going to make a game. I was going to have warriors and clerics and magic users, and I was going to have all these different character classes. And my imagination, this game was going to be this big. What did I know about what a computer can do? I didn't, and I didn't know how to read, speak, or write Japanese. My wife could read, but she didn't understand anything about what was written in the manual, so that was kind of useless. And all the manuals were in Japanese, so I had to hack the computer the whole time. I had 64K, so I made a role-playing game within 64K, all graphics, no text, or a little bit of text. I started writing it all in BASIC, and then the 3D part, when I wrote the 3D in BASIC, it was like the walls were like, that's the speed, and then you would take a step, bunk, and then it would like, I said, no, there's no way this game can take that long. And so I decided to take that part of the game and write it in assembler. When I was done with that, you push the button, it happened immediately. There was no, you couldn't tell that it was drawing anything. And I was like, that was the first time I really understood how fast assembler was. Or conversely, how slow BASIC was. There's a sample monster here. This is the demon. 10K for all monster graphics, and 10K for all people graphics. I think they were about equal in weight. I based the graphics on, on miniatures. Because when we played Dungeons and Dragons, we played them with miniatures, and so you had little people. And every time you went and you bought a new piece of armor, you would see it, and so you graphically could see your group up to 5 warriors getting better and better and better. And I made a dot matrix graphic editor so that I could draw each monster dot by dot. He's already bought armor. He's already bought a shield. He's already bought a sword. I mean, he's already an advanced level character. The only thing that wasn't graphic was potions. Potion, you could see whether you had a little bottle as a potion, but you couldn't tell how many potions you had in your bottle. It's up to 5 potions. I wanted a package that was a little bit more expensive than the other packages. All the other packages were paper. Part of the reason is my game was 7,800 yen when all the other games were 6,800 yen. And the reason for that is because I believed that my game had longer gameplay.
The painting in my office was painted by Roger Dean, known for doing things like the Yes Band logo. And this painting that's hanging in my office was the cover of an RPG game that Hank created called the Black Onyx. And this was the Famicom version of the game. The painting is called Freya's Castle. And Freya actually is Roger's daughter.
That game, it took me 9 months to build. And I would say that's my lifetime greatest achievement. I mean, when you think about it, like today, if somebody gave you 64K and say make a role-playing game, that would be tough. Now, I used to be in the gem business, so I knew all about how to. I told my dad I need 1,000 black onyx. The first 100 people that found the onyx and send me the secret password, which was Yggdrasil, which is the tree of life, I would send them a real black onyx. Black Onyx turned out to be the #1 game in Japan in 1984. I published it myself. My company was Bulletproof Software. And I was all of a sudden a folk hero in the computer game world in Japan.
The console versions were never quite as good as the Game Boy version.
I think Game Boy Tetris for me was like the game that I played the most. I think it was such a game changer, right? Because we're already playing the Famicom, like NES type games at home, but then now you can take that everywhere. I remember like going to Disneyland or going on trips, and we would have the Game Boy, we would link it up and play together.
Game Boy looks for me like a device for Tetris, you know, by default. With the small screen, with the good resolution. Buttons work well, music was excellent. I did play Mario on it, but Tetris is much better on the Game Boy, at least for my opinion.
People think the Game Boy version was probably the perfect game.
And I do remember that once it was a Tetris competition and some schoolboy came to me to sign the cartridge. I signed and he is glued into the Game Boy. I was very impressed with this. So for me, Tetris is really literally glued in the Game Boy. So if you remember Game Boy, you can't forget Tetris. Historically, they are together.
The heart level, if you push the certain combination when you're booting up the game, it goes to the heart levels. And the heart levels are way faster than any other level. It's so fast that if your piece drops, you cannot reach the side higher than 4 off the bottom. So that's how fast it's going. So if you want to do a Tetris, you need to make the hole in the middle and hope that the long piece comes. Oh, shoot.
I saw so many versions on home computers and other devices, so for me as a designer, it wasn't anything really exceptional. But it was a really, really decent, very good version. Probably that was the best version if to not take in account my own computer version, which was much better for me, of course, you know, because I made it. Yeah.
Tengen was going to make cartridges without paying Nintendo. They had reverse engineered the Nintendo cartridge. The Nintendo cartridge had a patented lockout system, a copyrighted song, which is a piece of code that all of the data would be passed through, and then they had the trademark, the word Nintendo, on the cartridge. Tengen had managed to get through all those three.
Did you reverse engineer the code? Did you do it properly? Because depending on how you figured out to jailbreak the machine, there were ways that if you did it through a black box, you can go off and do it. And if you didn't, you couldn't do it.
Nintendo was in court with them. That was going to take time. By that time, Tengen's first game would have come out already. What was their first game? Tetris.
You're going to give us a copy, yes? Tengen Tetris. Like a paper. It's like a paper. I like a paper.
But apparently, Tengen, in the creation of their version of Tetris, actually used some of the Nintendo code, which violated the rules of the blacklist.
So if they could stop Tetris, that would put Tengen back a long time. So I go back to Japan, I call Arakawa, I said, this is and this and this is what's happening. He said, get us the right to Tetris. What happens when Atari Games sues me? We will protect you. I was like, okay. So I found myself a month later, I'm back in the Soviet Union. I said, yeah, I'm ready to do a deal for the console rights. And do you need me to bring the president of Nintendo? And they said, yes. And they came on a clandestine mission Everybody at Nintendo of America thought they were in Japan, but they actually flew to London and from London to Moscow. We went through a week of negotiation. So I ended up getting Nintendo the rights to console worldwide, and then they licensed back to me in Japan. So my in-laws' property stayed intact.
Everybody want to do 3D Tetris. And it was a version of 3D Tetris called Blockout. And I really hate it.
Hank Rogers plays
Blockout. First time try to play that. I realized that immediately that it's too much pressure for human mind to deal with this strange mainframe kind of shape of the pieces and whatever. It was possible to play for maybe 5-10 minutes, but then you kind of get away.
This is Andrei Sneyer, the main programmer in Docker company.
Made this first well-dressed prototype. One of my friends do very good prototype. I don't even remember what the game was about, but he kind of have a very good design of this weld, kind of three walls on the bottom. So I decided that for Tetris it would be very interesting to try.
Make each Tetris screen be a side of a wall and have the pieces fall, and you can go around the side of the wall.
Shape of the field delivered a really strong feeling of 3D, but it doesn't spoil the game with the overloading mind. That was very important. It very interesting kind of phenomena happened with the piece at the bottom on the edge, partially on one and partially on the other. It kind of splits on the bottom.
It was addictive. It was a natural sequel. Weltris won an award at SBA the following year after Tetris.
And Blockout wasn't there. I do remember that one of my first very original game, I called it Crowd. Later it was published under the name of Modeled Casino in Microsoft Entertainment Pack. Your task is to put them away from the field from this small window. In this order, this will be first. You have this crowd, and you call them either to left, either to right, either up, either down, but every time the different subsets going on. You model them, and you miss them a lot while you operate with them.
The goal is to get all the objects out of the dot. They can only be moved in groups. If you put together spades and clubs, or diamonds and hearts, you can move a group to the right. Selecting all green backgrounds or all orange ones lets you go to the left. To go up, you have to choose between circles or squares. To go down, you have to mix red and black suits. If you think you're confused, now I help you do it.
And now put the circle up. Enough?
But now I want to separate that guy and bring him down. Oops, that's not a good idea on that.
It took intense concentration to avoid getting stuck. I could see this game was geometry, logic, and strategy all rolled into one.
You made it!
Okay, I got it.
You see, this game is rich enough. I don't
Yeah,
know.
sure,
I
sure.
like it very much, but maybe it's a little bit complicated.
Right now, I understand why you call it muddle, because my mind's kind of a muddle right now.
That was my very first, very original game which I produced.
For me personally, the best kind of pleasure is the pleasure of intellectual activity. So this kind of pleasure I would like to present to my customer, to my players.
I did a game called Swap and Drop. The fragment of the pieces, which kind of in pair goes down, and you could swap them and shift together. That's how it worked. And we did two different games out of it. Tetris with the heads, those heads going this way, and you need to collect the pile of 5 heads, and they have different property. I like Tetris very well, and hand published it for Nintendo, but for Nintendo it didn't, for Famicom it didn't work very well. Don't remember very big sales on it. Some team did it with the faces. Spectrum Holobyte published this game.
The swap and drop framework was a good framework. So it didn't take us much energy to figure out how to tweak it so that it was right. Pieces would come down, and you have to make sure a face is stacked in the right order. So you have the mouth, the nose, the eyes, and the hat or the hair.
And if you don't do the face and have kind of 4 eyes, for example, that's a failure.
You get bonus points if you complete the face that is the intended face versus a random face, different slices of different people's faces. Very simple concept. Also move progressively faster and faster. We knew that players were trying to optimize to get the perfect face. That ultimately worked against you. Because if you were getting the perfect face, you were creating new problems over here on the other sides of the stack. And that's part of the kind of the game mechanic for that particular game.
I didn't like it very well, this faces idea. It didn't fit my feeling that we could play with human faces this way. But they were very fascinated to put Gorbachev with Thatcher eyes and Gorbachev kind of bold stuff and whatever. Wasn't very successful, but probably broke even.
What?